I first got into synths in my teens. I got my feet wet with the Roland Alpha Juno 2. I remember being blown away by the fact that you could play a helicopter sound on an instrument that was meant to be played musically. It had no knobs, no sliders except for the volume slider, and all the editing was done via an alpha dial, like this big wheel. And it was really futuristic, but equally inconvenient. You had to select the right parameter and then turn the dial to edit the parameter. It was really inconvenient. I read the manual from cover to cover, and that was my first introduction to subtractive synthesis. And it was the originator of the Hoover bass, which was preset M86, which was called What The, and it was developed by Eric Persing. That preset was used very deftly by Joey Beltram in Mentasm and by Human Resource in Dominator. It was capable of really warm strings, aggressive leads and punchy bass sounds, and I used it extensively in my first forays into bands. It was one of the only synths that is able to do pulse width modulation of a sawtooth wave, and it had an envelope that was more similar to the DX7. It was much more complex than the regular ADSR on subtractive synthesizers. There are a few software clones, not a lot. Redominator by Audio Realism and Talfa by Tal Audio, and also Retromod 106 by Traction that has some samples, some Juno 2 samples. I used Talfa for the demo that we're listening to, along with samples from the Yamaha RX-17, which was a drum machine that I owned at the time as well. It had no internal effects except for ubiquitous Roland chorus, but I used to run it through a Yamaha delay pedal, the DD100, and later a not SGE multi-effects unit. It's sorely missed.